One of the sadly unique things about Amoeba music is that it's one of the last of a certain kind of large general audience, general public serving record stores that exists anymore.
In 2015, there just aren't so many record stores left.
Downloads certainly hurt this business, and as you know, it closed most record stores in the whole country, actually.
So Amoeba's unique in a sense that it's still here, but I mean, there are reasons that Amoeba is still here. One reason is that the people that were hired to work at Amoeba from the beginning are huge music fans. And you know, when this store opened, the San Francisco store opened, before it opened rather, they advertised across the country for, you know, this store is opening. We need people who are very knowledgeable to come staff our store. And people came here from Detroit, Michigan, from like Lawrence, Kansas, you know, and these were just the most hardcore record nerds and music nerds and geeks and just people who are so into it, who are just into their kind of slice of music fandom, that, you know, they want to share that with other people.
Customers can pick up on people's enthusiasm, and a lot of times someone will single an Amoeba person out and listen to all the things they recommend. And I think it really comes through in how people are able to suggest things to people that they wouldn't ordinarily come up with. And we just have a lot of people like that here.
Sometimes we go a little overboard with it. You know, sometimes you have to really, you have to walk away from some of us sometimes, you know, to get them to stop talking about this thing they're really into.
And we're very organic here, very much, you know, you walk in and you feel like you're at home. You know, young people feel they can hang out here and it's a cool place to be, and they're welcomed, which is not often true for a lot of younger folks.
Amoeba, although it's a large store, it's not like there's one in every town, so we're able to have sort of a loyalty amongst the hardcore Amoeba fans.
You can bring your dog in here, you know, we're very dog friendly.
One of the things about Amoeba is we see some of everything. People bring everything.
We're very much counterculture in that we carry a lot of old music because we believe in it, you know.
But we're definitely bigger than most other stores.
You know, when you are interested in music or rock climbing or whatever your interest happens to be, it's sort of more fun to go to the biggest one.
Amoeba, you know, is probably the best and biggest record store in the world, quite frankly. And so we're humbled to be that. I'm thrilled, and every day I look at it and say, boy, this is great. You know?
Part of having a store that's really large is it just embraces all of the music and all of the formats. We're not a niche store that only applies itself to indie rock or electronica or avant-garde. So I think it really makes itself available to every kind of, your favorite, you could only be super into black metal and this could be your store.
I mean, there's no real trends as far as what people bring us. People bring us everything. The only trend I can really see these days is a lot of people selling their CD collections to get store credit to buy records, vinyl records. And people can get pretty intense about it. You know, there are people who will spend hundreds and thousands of dollars for one record because it's the original first pressing of this thing. Oftentimes they'll also like the music.
Any pop hit has to come out in vinyl now, and people are buying the old vinyl too. Classic rock is selling like crazy again, you know. Albums that we thought were dead 5 years ago, we can't keep them on the shelves anymore. So they're selling, that's helping our business regain its footing a little.
But people will always go for convenience. And what's more convenient than a CD? Not having to have anything. More and more people are feeling like these discs are just like, they're like MP3s on plastic. You know, what's the point of having them? But if you want to have a thing that contains your music, a record is a much cooler thing.
I think that people that grew up listening to CDs, they didn't really know that there were records then. And I think that when they got older and started downloading things and maybe got rid of their CDs, they came back around to wanting an actual physical piece of art. It's more of a, it's less crisp and less compressed and more of just kind of an organic, as though you were, it's closer to the experience of live music.
Just the physics of a needle in the groove of a piece of vinyl. It's gonna have some certain kind of resonance and distortion that in some instances comes across as just warmth. It's warmer, it's a warmer, rounder sound. It's not clearer, that's for sure, but it's warmer. And there's something to be said for that. You know, the crystal clarity of digital reproduction it's not as necessarily what the ear wants.
We're selling more vinyl now than CDs, which is an amazing turnaround. It's really beginning to make an impact, and we're hoping that the whole thing tips and suddenly every high school kid, for instance, has to have a turntable. That hasn't quite happened yet. But if that does happen, which it could, because we're just selling turntables like crazy and vinyl, then it'll just turn everything on its head, and then this business will be really vibrant again. And it's not to say that it's moribund or anything. It's still pretty strong, but it's not like it was. And there's a chance it could get back to that.